What's going on,
What's up,
ladies?
y'all? What's
Hello, hello,
up?
hello. All right, so let's jump right into it. So this is the takeover of the Any and Everything podcast. So as always, Lauren, and then we have go introduce yourselves, lady.
Amber, Mark's little sister, who's on the other part of the podcast.
And I'm Mel, just Mel.
All right. So today's topic, we are talking about some celebrity tea. So we're going to kind of get into a few relationships that's kind of in the spotlight these days, just to kind of make sure that, people are caught up, because some people don't look at social media and we get that, but we do. I know I do. So we're going to get into it. Does anybody want to go first? You want me to start?
I'll go ahead and go first because I will be talking about Blueface and Krishan Rock.
Okay.
These two have been having a lot of headlines and drama these days, so I'm going to go ahead and start with them first. So for those of you who do not know, Blueface, his birth name, Jonathan Jamal Porter, he is a rapper from LA, and he's best known for his song Bust It Down, Tatiana. And he's also a boxer who is signed with a Bare Knuckle Championship, which I personally didn't know because I don't really, I didn't keep up with that part of it. But yeah, so he's a boxer as well. And for Krishan Rock, her birth name is Krishan Malone. She's a musician. She's a social media influencer. She's a model. And she also is an artist who is allegedly signed to Blueface's record label. And I think she may even be considered one of his artists. And she has 3 songs, I think, that I know of or heard of on Spotify. It's Lonely, Rainy Days, and Vibe. I think Vibe is becoming her most popular song right now for anyone who follows her or listens to her musically. But yeah, she's also considered an Instagram star at this point, and she is known as Blueface's girlfriend. So they met in 2020 on a reality TV show that actually started on OnlyFans, which is kind of funny.
I didn't even know that. That's news to
What?
me.
Yes. So Blueface apparently was inspired by Bad Girls Club. And I guess during the pandemic, when it first started, he decided to have something called Blue Girls Club, where he gathers a group of women and he has them, hey, Galen, and he has them staying
Thank
in
you.
a house in LA. I believe it's reported to be his house, but I'm not too sure. And they stay with each other for about a month straight. And of course, during this, they start filming. They started filming fights, drama, the clips of them partying and clubbing. And he
Mm,
would put the well, not this. This doesn't happen yet. So they started putting this putting videos up of them fighting and stuff like that, like Bad Girls Club used to do, but they will post it on
right.
OnlyFans, and for a monthly subscription you could see these fights and see this drama, and it'd play out like an actual TV show on OnlyFans. But it actually, rumor has it that that's actually how she lost her tooth, because if you guys ever seen Krishan
Right.
Rock, she has a missing tooth.
That's
And
so
Mhm.
good.
Mhm.
And she's really a beautiful young lady. She really
yes.
is
She
a gorgeous
is.
girl. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's foolish right there. But I did not know. I so now that you're mentioning that, I thought that those fights that was happening or those girls that was around him were like his actual artists. I didn't know that that was a show that he had.
Yeah, that started out as his show. Now I think she's also on some other show called Baddie South with
Mm-hmm.
Natalie Nunn. So I guess she started from Blue Girls Club first, and then that, at least that's how I think it happened.
Okay.
And but yeah, that was, I don't know how if these girls were trying to be signed to him musically. I'm not sure like
Mm-hmm.
what the whole purpose of it was, but basically he just was inspired by Bad Girls Club,
Right.
and it kind of took off actually, because people, it was a pandemic, people probably was sitting at home and just started tuning in. But since 2020, when they met, they have been in this on and off again relationship. And in the midst of this on and off again relationship, Blueface, it was reported that he actually dated Coy Leray, who has been
Mm-hmm.
Zeno's daughter. And he's also been kind of in a relationship on and off with his mother of his child, Jaden, or children, excuse me, because they have
Yep.
two kids together, Jaden Alexis. So it's been kind of like a big mess between Krishan and mostly Jaden Alexis, because they had children together, so that became a mess. But we will get into that as well. And not only was there drama between Blueface and Krishan, but there was also a lot of drama between Krishan and his mother and his sister. But for the sake of
Mm-hmm.
time, I will not get into that. 'Cause that's a whole drama in itself. So I'm just going to strictly stick to the drama between Krishan and Blueface. So they basically they ever since they met, it's just been back and forth from there. So starting from this year, I'll just focus on the drama in 2022. So because I could go back to 2020 and 2021, but again, sake of time, I was gonna stick to this year. So
Right.
starting in February of 2022, Krishan allegedly stole Blueface's car and was arrested. So he made a video putting her on blast, calling her a thief, saying that she stole his car, and he thought it was crazy that she was trying to drive the car to Baltimore, where she's from, and
Mm-hmm.
give the car to her mother. And she actually, when he found out that she stole his car, she broke into his home and actually left writing on the wall in her blood,
Right.
and said, I think it said, I heart blue, signed Rock.
Something
And
wrong with her.
when he came home and discovered this, that his car was missing, his home was broken into, he said he didn't know it was even her until he saw the writing on the wall. So the cops were called. They did the DNA. They pulled the DNA from the blood on the wall and found out that she was the one who broke into his house. Of course, that led to her arrest. And once she got arrested, I guess it was later made a phone call. I'm not sure who she made this phone call to, but she made a phone call to, I believe it might have been Blueface, somebody holding the cellular device, and she was on speakerphone. But she made a call from the jail, and she was kind of trying to plead her case, kind of like she admitted to stealing the car and everything, but she was explaining that she took the car to drive it to her mother because apparently her and her mother were struggling at this time. And she said that her mom didn't have anywhere to sleep. So she thought it was a good idea to take his car, drive it to her mom so she can have a car to sleep in. That was her reasoning behind it. Then he felt that she had the audacity to ask him to bail her out. But she says, yeah, I feel like you should bail me out because you're
Dominique.
Yeah, she said, I feel like you should bail me out because you're the reason I'm in the situation. And I quote, she said that she deserves that much, at least, after dealing with a clown ass nigga who robs her and beats on her. I don't know if I can say certain things on here. And that was the car situation. So that was February of 2022. So May of 2022, she ends up getting, it was reported or announced that she got his face tattooed on her neck.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Yeah. So yes, she
Just
and
terrible.
she apparently has 5 tattoos of him on her body.
Yep, she does.
She has one on the side of her face, one on her neck that has his full name, Jonathan Jamal Porter, and she has one on her vagina, and it says Jonathan's Pussy, and she has one on her hand that says Jonathan, and of course she has the one that's on her throat now. And when asked if she regrets any of them, she says no, and that her family is aware of these tattoos like everybody else at this point, and that where she's from, she said that's nothing. She's like, if you love someone, they
I
feel like
believe
that.
it.
Yeah, she's like, that's nothing to her. That's what she feels
Yeah.
like shows her love for her partner. So fast forward to July of 2022. Not sure what happened, but out of nowhere, Blueface confirmed that they actually split after this. I don't know. He didn't give any details as to why they broke up or why they split for this second. But he basically said in so many words that she wasn't reliable enough for him. And that, he says, we had an agreement and she did not hold up her end of the bargain. Simple as that. That was his response. And she responded that she felt like he just simply couldn't handle being with someone who was attractive, and that he tries to put up this front like he really doesn't love her, yada yada yada, but he does love her. And he even apparently made a statement, according to her, that he felt like she changed ever since she got her tooth implant. So he felt like she had a low self-esteem, then she got her tooth fixed, and he felt like she started switching things up. So
I was thinking that same thing too. I'm sorry, I was reading the comment. As much as your
so
brother say certain things.
Go ahead and say what you got to say, Amber.
So the picture that just popped up, she actually made a video in response to him saying that, oh, you act different ever since you got the tooth replaced. The picture that just popped up of her taking the tooth out, that's actually a video she made of her removing the tooth.
Mm-hmm.
And in the caption, it said, I took it out for you, daddy, and all I had to do was unscrew it. Now what is your excuse? Is pretty much what she said in the video. So she took it out, and that was the first implant that she got before the one that everybody knows about. So she took it out, and then she in the same month, I guess later down the line, they must have patched things up, she reveals her new tooth that she got with Blueface's portrait on it. We can show that real quick. I know we showed it already, but apparently she had a normal one first, and then she got the one with his face on it, I guess, to symbolize that doesn't change anything. I'm still the same woman, yada yada yada. So I guess that was her way of making up for what he said about her acting different about the tooth. So in August 2nd, I believe, of this year, there was a video footage released of Krishan and Blueface getting into this altercation in the streets of Hollywood. That was probably the one that everybody saw, where they were in the street. She had on her looked like some sports clothes and a blue shirt, and yeah, they were having a brawl. Someone recorded the incident, and the police were called. But by the time the police arrived, Krishan and Blueface were nowhere to be found. However, there was another video that got posted after the incident, of them in the room together. And so, there she's laying in the bed, he's recording her, and he's just in this video, he kind of explains what caused the altercation. He went through her phone and saw some questionable text messages between her and other men. But one of the messages was between her and a correctional officer who was at a jail that she was recently held at. And I guess they messed around, and he saw some text messages. At least that's what he thinks, that they messed around. But the text messages were pretty questionable, and he got upset, and that's what led to their altercation. He tried to get her phone back, and unfortunately, in the video of them tussling the street, you couldn't really tell if he hit her or not. So you could see her hitting him, but or trying to push up on him and everything. It was just a tussle. And in this video, though, of him talking to her in the room while she's laying in the bed, he calls her all kind of whores and says she ain't shit, and then even offers her $100,000 to leave the relationship.
That's crazy.
Oh, I didn't know that. That part I didn't hear.
At this point, just go.
Right. And she didn't accept it. He said, yeah, she didn't. She said no. And if anything, she didn't even say anything, but that just lets you know that she wasn't accepting that.
Right.
And so unfortunately, after that video went viral, as I mentioned, Blueface was an upcoming boxer, and he has some boxing matches coming up. He actually lost a boxing gig after this.
Oh, wow.
He was immediately dropped from boxing promoters after this aired out. And he was supposed to fight another fighter named FaZe Temper. I think he does other things, though. He's like a YouTuber and stuff like that. But he was also in a boxing match, and Blueface is supposed to fight him on August 27th of this year in London. But once that video surfaced of the altercation, the promoters announced that they would no longer be working with him, and he would not be participating in the fighting sports events. And they had to replace Blueface with another fighter. So that was unfortunate. In August 5th, it's a lot. So on August 5th, Jaden Alexis announces the birth of their second child. And during this time, Blueface made a video of him gifting her a big necklace, like a huge necklace with her name, Jaden, and it's diamond out and everything. He made a video of him gifting this to her, and he called it her push gift. Krishan did not like that. So she makes a video in response to him gifting this chain. And she says, we were at the jewelry store together, and I didn't know you were about to get her a chain. I didn't see this chain. You were showing me a chain you were going to get me. And so she then makes another video of her confronting him directly. The first video, she was somewhere else. The second one, she's in his face. So he's in the video with her. And she said what hurt her the most was that he asked her to get rid of her babies. Meanwhile, he decided to have a baby with someone else that he wasn't even with. So that kind of hints to the idea that maybe there were some abortions that happened. Again, it wasn't really no more further detail that got into that. But that's when everybody kind of said, whoa, okay, so he basically told her to abort her babies or get rid of hers, but then have one with someone else that he wasn't even currently dating. But in this video, she casually slaps him, and then they just like it's nothing. Like this stuff that seems like it happens all the time. She smacks him, he kind of bobs and weaves, and then they end the video of them laughing, and he asks for a kiss. They pecked each other on the lips, and she asked him to delete the video from his story of him gifting the chain to the mother of his child. August 10th, after all this, Krishan announces, I guess after their first split that happened in July, she comes back and announces that Blueface asked her to be his girlfriend. And she says the date, August 10th, 2022. And people, of course, reacted to this confusion. One Twitter even said, or one Twitter account, excuse me, said after 5 tattoos, getting into a brawl with his family, stealing his vehicle, assaulting each other in the streets, smearing blood on his walls, being left at home while he is at his baby mama's house walking around in his drawers, a new baby that is not with her, a lost tooth, a replacement tooth that has his face on it, endless public humiliation, and tears. Krishan is finally Blueface's girlfriend. Congratulations.
Wow.
So,
This is terrible.
That's
it is.
embarrassing.
So, latest news. August 21st, Krishan is another video that got released sometime later in August. Krishan punches Blueface square in the face in a bar in Arizona. And I mean like cold cocks, like just like, I mean, punched him twice in the face. The first image, you can see his face turn, like that's how hard she punched him. And she actually ends up getting arrested this time. But Blueface responded by making a video saying free rock. And he also clarified that she was arrested for trespassing, not for assault, meaning that someone at the bar probably told her to leave, but she refused. But either way, this altercation led to her being arrested. After this incident, the two, they got in, I think was in a TMZ interview. They were walking out of some building. I don't know, but somebody in paparazzi stopped them and interviewed them. And it was on TMZ that they both promised to no longer use physical violence with each other. Krishan states that she does not want to be arrested again. And when the interviewer asked her, well, what did you guys learn from this incident? Her first response was not to hit him in public. So, of course, the interviewer,
My kind of girl.
So the interviewer is like,
We wait till you get home.
what do you mean in public? You mean like you shouldn't be hitting him at all? Like you promised to
Right.
stop
Right.
hitting? And so, and so they kind of laughed that off. And then he asked if they were going to get professional help with their aggression. Krishan smiled at Blueface and was like, I don't know, should we? And his response was, I don't think I need help with the aggression. That's her. And then the interviewer asked them, well, aren't you guys worried that this might happen again? And she said, no, I'm not worried. And of course, Blueface says otherwise. He says, yeah, I'm a little worried. And he tried to laugh it off.
As he should be.
Yeah. And he tries to be funny and laughs it off and says, I'm going to sleep shaking in my bed every night. And worried about what's about to happen. And she gets mad in the middle of this interview, believe it or not. And was like, stop playing, da 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 da. Like, stop, don't do that. So I'm looking like, okay, she's getting mad all over again. And and she gets a little agitated. And but they eventually wrapped up the interview and they went their separate ways. And as of this day, that was their last incident that I know of, and that they promised that they would keep their hands off of each other. I don't know where they are today. I don't know if they're together. I don't know if
somewhere fighting.
Yeah,
right. Fighting behind closed doors.
Right. She pulled the mama on him. Like, wait till you get home.
Right, exactly.
I ain't gonna do it in public no more. But when you get home.
And it's really weird that he's saying that she doesn't need the help. That he doesn't need the help. She does. They both need help. Like, he needs help because his trauma is coming long term from his mama and whoever else.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times with women, when we I'll say it, we abuse men, when we hit men, when we fight them, it comes from past experiences, because no female just wakes up and get in her first relationship and be like, all right, I'm gonna beat the hell out this man today. Like, I just feel like it, so it clearly is something she's been through. This is a normal behavior for her,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And I kind of feel like she probably has some mental health issues that are not being addressed. Like, this screams bipolar on so many levels. Like, this girl, anything sets her off.
Right.
And if it's almost like he kind of gave in, was like, all right, you my girlfriend. Like, you my girlfriend. Just so I stop being beat on. You my girlfriend. But You still getting beat on, and she
Right.
would have beat on you if the cameras wasn't around. While she told you to stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because when he lost his boxing match deal, it was like it was unfortunate because of course if he did, for one, no one could really tell if he hit her or not. They said in the video you could see them tussling. He takes
Mm-hmm.
us, like, it looks like he swung, but they said they couldn't tell if it connected. And then when he pinned her on the ground, he took the chain, I guess the chain that he got for her, he took it, she took it off her neck. And that was enough for them to say, okay, yeah, we can't participate. And I understand, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's physical altercations happening. We don't want no parts in that. And I do still feel like, to me, her being arrested, I think put a big, it just put it out there that even if you are a woman, you can't just be hauling off and hitting men.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right. Mm-mm.
So I'm glad there was some consequences on both parts, that he ended up losing something and she ended up losing something eventually. So she ends up getting arrested as she should have been, even though he claims that, oh, it wasn't for the assault, it was for trespassing. To me, it just was enough to be like, okay, well, either way, the altercation led to her arrest, and it should have.
Me, you know what?
Yeah.
Honestly, I've dealt with a lot in relationships. I've been in abusive relationships where I have been the one that was severely beaten, and I've also been in relationships where I found my inner Ike Turner, and I, had to put it out there a few times. But but honestly, when it gets to a point where you're losing money, like, that's to me the line. It should always be
Mm-hmm.
a line after the first hit. But I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
if it gets that far where somebody's losing major deals, we're losing major money, like, you didn't work this hard to get into the limelight, you know what I'm saying, of any type of spotlight, and to just lose it behind someone who can't control their emotions, or something that can't be worked out the proper way. That's where I draw the absolute line at for me. But these days, no, period. You raise your voice at me too much, and I'm done. I just can't do it. But back in the day, I took a couple of licks, but when I start losing jobs behind it, I was like, all right, it's time for this relationship to go,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't
Ooh.
know. So, I mean, if we are, you know what, I would say let's go ahead and take a quick break and do this promo real quick, and then we'll come back and kind of wrap this up with Krishan and Blueface, and then we'll move on to the next topics.
Cool.
Hey guys, this portion of the podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Get the right tools for the below the waist care with the Performance Package 4.0. Inside here you will find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, and don't forget the Manscaped Performer boxer briefs and travel bag to hold all of that ball care goodness. Wherever you go, your ball spot goes with you. Why is this package so important to have? Well, their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 4000K LED spotlight you need to make those mythical dark abyss spaces you can't really see visible. But of course, that's not all, because the Performance Package 4.0 also includes a Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer, which is also waterproof and provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate face holes. You should want to smell and hear better without an extra layer blocking those beautiful high-definition smells and sound waves. Upgrade your ear and nose game with this product. Now, let's end your ball spot with their Crop Preserver ball deodorant and Crop Reviver ball toner that would change the way you approach your hygiene routine. Shaving with the Weed Whacker and Lawnmower doesn't have to stop there. Reward your balls so they can thank you. Oh, and also the Shed travel bag and Manscaped boxes come free. You can't beat that. It's time to take care of yourself, so go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus shipping with the code ANEP with our Any and Everything podcast. View our description to learn more. Happening, Moan snuck up in here. Look, get your product. Use the code ANEP, 20% off plus free shipping. You get everything that you saw in the video. Here go the underwear. I ain't put them on yet, so this is not nasty. It's not one of those things where I just took it off my body and just threw this right in the podcast. I haven't put these on yet, but these feel amazing. Just look. Oh, just all silk satin, and it smells good. Not only that, it comes with this travel bag that I got here, right? And this right here has changed my life. Okay, I am bald, silk, skin boy right now. Okay, so go ahead and get this for yourself. This is the Lawnmower 4.0. It even has an LED light where you can see we're trying to get the crevices and all that. No, I'm not gonna put it on my face because I use it for my balls. But either way, go ahead and get this. This is a really good deal. You also saw me in the video where I use the weed whacker. It goes in your nose, it goes in your ears. Don't don't do what I did. All right, I'm a name some kind of nasty. I went in my ear one time and almost went in my nose, and I saw something I had to clean it. So make sure that you use it appropriately. Clean it off, use it. It's awesome. It comes with a wireless charger. Your Manscaped shirt, it comes free. Try it. Get it down below. This will not last long. So please get the shirt, get the clippers, get the underwear, get everything. It also comes with like a newspaper you put on the ground. You get to like shave your balls and then let all the hair hit the ground. You get to clean it up and throw it away. At least they brought back a thing that you can use newspapers for. 'Cause a lot of people don't read newspaper. Everything is digital. So now if you get newspapers, you put it on the ground, you shave your balls. Or ladies, if you guys shave your areas down there, you actually can use it. It's a really good thing and it's waterproof. So it's just an awesome product. So please make sure you guys go. Link is in the description. Check it out. Buy. It supports the channel and Manscaped. We appreciate you guys for, allowing us to have this opportunity. All right, ladies, about to be back to you guys.
Shout out to
All
Manscaped.
right. Yes. Shout out
We
to
don't
Moan
use
for that.
it, but
Shout out
hey,
to Moan for that very descriptive
very,
promo.
very.
I guess the women we appreciate it because y'all doing it for
Yeah,
us.
we do.
So,
We do.
Yeah.
why
Hey,
is this man here?
We can't
shave
have
your balls.
1 day alone.
I will go ahead and I will actually do an extra promo for that. And I'm gonna just say, yeah, definitely, for all those who's watching, you definitely want to get that. My husband has it, and yeah, it is nice. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it's nice. And he's actually used it on me. And so it really, yeah, and it actually does a
Okay,
really good job of getting where it needs to get to and doing what it's supposed to do. So yeah, even I'm, promoting it as a woman. So yeah, check them
that's
out.
cool. That's cool. So use that promo code Annette, get 20% off.
There you go.
And on to our next couple,
Who is taking the
Lauren.
next one? Shall that be me?
Yeah,
Or Mel,
I
you?
think so because I got like the milder version of the
Okay.
three. So
All right.
yeah.
All right. So my couple we're talking about is Neo and his, I guess, soon to be ex-wife, Crystal Smith. So right now, let me just do a little backstory. So he was before Crystal, he was with Manetta, and that is the mother of his first two children. Now, him and Mayetta and Neo actually got together. I want to say this was in 2000 and probably 2011, maybe a little bit before that, because they actually had a child in 2010. So probably about 2008, 2009, these two got together. Now, they were together for quite some time. They had two children. They had them back to back, as we call them, Irish twins. They had one child in 2010 and they had another child in 2011. At
Mm.
that point, it was a discussion between them two that she would go and get her tubes tied because they agreed, well, we're going to go ahead and get married. We're not going to go ahead and have any more children, this and third. So she agreed to it. This was pretty much like his idea, and she agreed to it because they already had a wedding date set. So at some point, Neo decided he no longer wanted to be in a monogamous relationship, as Mayetta stated in her book. And just really quickly, I just want to put out there that everything that we're talking about is on the internet. Everything is, we've got all this stuff off internet sites and things like that. So this is
Alleged.
nothing that is actually coming from us as a source. We got this from sources who were put on the internet. So don't nobody try no lawsuit in case this make it to one of these celebrities. Don't try it. So I just want to put that out there real quick because you ain't suing me.
It's
Period.
allegedly.
So right. And so okay, so they were set to get married in 2015. In September of 2015, they were set to get married. Neo called Mayetta on the phone 2 months before their wedding date and told her, I don't want to do this. He broke it off with her over the phone. That's some coward shit right there.
It is.
Anyway, um So in her mind, in her book, as she states, that she thought he was just calling off the wedding. No, in actuality, Neo was calling off the whole relationship. And he said, I don't want to be in a monogamous relationship anymore. I want to kind of go do my own little thing or whatever. And she said she was kind of sideswiped with this information. She was just caught off guard. Nonetheless, I guess they went through whatever they couples go through when they're breaking up and they're splitting up and things like that. And so it's so funny how Neo married Crystal in 2016. But he announced that they were, they were supposed to be getting married in 2015. It just seems like what the blogs are saying is that there was an overlap in the relationship. Apparently, he was cheating on Mayetta with Crystal. It was never actually confirmed if Crystal actually did pull Alicia Keys and took Mayetta's man. But I'm just
Look
saying.
like it.
And so, but this is Mayetta that's on the screen. This is the first girlfriend. So this is the one who had his first two children that he eventually left for to be with whoever or just to go out and play the field, I guess. But it was just kind of ironically how this time lapse was just really quickly how they ended their relationship. And in 2015, he announces that he has a baby on the way with Crystal already. So she was already pregnant prior to them getting married in 2016, which I kind of felt like he married her because she was pregnant. He got his side piece pregnant and he pretty much had no choice because they really weren't in the blogs. Everybody knew Mayetta as the girlfriend. And then he just popped up on the scene like a year and a half, 2 years later with Crystal, and she's already pregnant, and they're going ahead and getting married.
They was together before.
So it's just like it's very sketchy. So they were married. They've been married since 2016. They go through their marriage. Apparently there has been some issues with him being, unfaithful throughout their marriage. And they apparently, I think it was last year sometime or the year before last, they announced that they were getting divorced. They were getting divorced. They were done with it. They were like, that's
Yes,
it.
Robin.
And then apparently, I guess they decided to reconcile. They had a whole vow renewal, like a whole renewal thingy. And I was just like, okay, well, they got married all over again. I'm like, okay, so I guess you're gonna work this out now. Whatever. They had just had their third child, a brand new baby girl, which they have two sons prior, and then they had a little girl last, and then they did this whole vow renewal thing. And then now, boom, this summer, they just dropped the bomb that they've been very quiet since the vow renewal. And then boom, this summer they just dropped it, was like, we're getting a divorce. She just goes and she files with divorce. Well, apparently because he's cheated again, and this time he actually fathered a child with someone else. And I tried to do as much research as I could to see if I could find out who this mystery lady is. But these allegations are coming strictly from the current wife mouth, Crystal's mouth. So it hasn't been confirmed. This lady hasn't come out in the limelight to say, this is me, I have his baby. This is just something that Crystal was saying. So it could either be one of two things. It could either be that maybe somebody just told her that, like, I'm pregnant with this child, or I have his child, and maybe that could have got her in a little uproar. And that's why she's going ahead and just, putting it out there. Or maybe this girl is just trying to stay low key because she just don't want the mob coming after her. Like, hey, guess what? Here go another home wrecker, just in the third. But nobody truly really knows. That's pretty much like the gist of what I have. I kind of just want to open the floor a little bit to kind of see, what you ladies think about, his whole movement in general. First of all, the bitch made move of calling somebody on the phone and breaking off, not the relationship, but the whole engagement. Like, you're
just everything. Yeah.
Like, what kind of, like, who raised you? Like, because I'm sure your mama is not proud of you for doing something like that. I mean, but on the flip side, he saved Mayetta from what Crystal's going through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now Mayetta's happily married. She married somebody, last November. She got married. So she seems to be very happy. She's now on episodes of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's getting her checks. She's out there. Her books are doing amazing. So yeah, I mean, I think that, this was like a blessing in disguise for her, but still, it was just like a cowardly way to go about doing the whole thing when you could have had an adult conversation with this woman and said, I just don't want to do this no more. But you call her on the phone. Like,
I definitely agree with that. Like, that was just like, for Neo to be like this guy that everybody loves and making all of these amazing songs and all of this and that, he a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna say I was
he
surprised.
is a jerk.
Right. You
Yeah.
And I
would
no
never
longer like
expect
him.
that.
No, not at all.
You would expect that from Blueface,
Definitely expected
Right.
from
but you would
Blueface,
Right.
never expect that from
but
Neo. First of
not.
all, his real
Mm.
name is Shaffer. I'm not nobody named
Well,
Shaffer.
that's the problem right there. You can't give him a name like that, expect him to act right through life.
I'm not fucking no man named Shaffer. Period. And I'm not the best looking cookie in the jar, but I got standards. And certain ones is I'm not fucking no man named Shaffer. Like,
Shaffer?
so you got what the hell you deserve by not only
That's got to
fucking
be a
him, but
family
born
name.
children with him and accepting his hand in marriage. Like Shaffer. And then
He,
have you seen Neo without his hat?
yes.
Come on.
I
We
don't
gotta
know.
be a little more choosy. But I mean, he got nice teeth. I give him that. He does have a pretty smile and he can sing and he is a decent dancer and
He
things
got a
like
little
that. Yeah,
swag, a little bit,
yeah, yeah.
but
Yeah.
That's true, Robin. You really don't know these celebrities because and actually just taking away from everything else, taking away his music career, his dancing ability, his producing and things like that, he's still a human being. And human beings
mm-hmm.
we fuck up all the time. So
Yeah.
that's just it's just unfortunate that they're in the limelight and then they make things very public. Like she really didn't have to go on social media, Crystal, the wife, and do this whole long blog thingy about how 8 years I've kept quiet and I've done this and I've done that. Nobody, first of all, really nobody truly cares, just to put that out there.
At the
Because
end of the day,
case this ever gets to Crystal at some point in time in her life, nobody cares. If this ever makes it to any celebrity, nobody cares. Honestly, we want what it is that you offer. What you offer is your man offers good music. We just want the music. We don't really care
that's
about
it.
the rest of that stuff. So you're going up here telling people about how you can't say certain things. You know, like you can't. Don't put that out there. Nobody wants to hear that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And plus, it's okay to be private. It's okay to be private. It's okay to go through things behind closed doors. You do not have to tell the entire world what it is you're going through. Like I
Right.
post jokeful moments between me and my husband when I'm cursing him out. Like right now on my stories, I'm laying his ass out on my story, but we're playing and we're having a good time. But if we're ever debating, that's not something that's going to ever go on social media, and I'm not going to post it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just
Yeah.
I think that if I had to tell what I felt like she's trying to get sympathy and empathy from a situation she caused. She knows that she slept with that woman's man. She knows that she got pregnant by that woman's man. She had been
Yeah.
sleeping with Mayetta's man at that time. And this is the backlash that, as the old saying goes, is the way you get them is the way you lose them. And that karma is hitting her in her ass. So she's trying to round up as much sympathy and empathy as she possibly can. And then this is the latest of the latest news was that it just came out on the blogs like maybe a few days ago is that she is requesting for full spousal support as well as child support. And Neo is pretty much told the judge she needs to get a fucking job. And that's what he pretty much told the judge. He said, I
Hey.
need that. She need to get a fucking job. I'm gonna tell you this. She's asking for sole custody of the kids. I don't agree with that. My personal opinion,
No.
I don't agree with that shit. You're being selfish because she knows if she gets sole custody, she's gonna get
She
full
get more money.
100% child support. That's
Right.
bullshit. Don't do that. Like, stuff like that. I can agree that it is messed up that man that man should not have cheated on her or fathered a child in their marriage. Yeah, that's messed up. But that man is still a father, and he obviously is a good father.
Right.
You never thought about taking his kids from him before. Why would you want to do that now just to get for the dollar sign?
Right. I feel
Like,
like unless the father is a danger to the child, you should not be asking for sole custody. You're not hurting him more than you're hurting the child.
right,
Like, sole custody for what? You need an
right,
explanation, a reasonable explanation for that. Because just because you was hurt, just because he called off everything, just because y'all getting a divorce, that ain't got nothing to do with the kids.
right.
Yeah, that's
Let that
usually
man see his
that's
kids.
very common. It's a lot of women who do that, or not even just
Mm-hmm.
women. I heard men who done it too as well. Like it's I think it's just like you said that it's just because they're hurt, they want that other person to feel that same pain, and
Right.
but they're so hurt that they're just thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about what it's doing to the child, and I understand, like I get why she's upset, I guess, but it's like at the end of the
Still ain't got
day,
nothing to do with the kids.
yeah, at the end of the day,
Right.
the kid needs to be involved in this child's life. Like you said,
Right.
if he's not endangering the child's life, or if he's especially if he's doing his job. There's a thin line between love and hate.
Right.
uh, especially if he's
Facts.
doing his, if he's actually a good dad, it's like you should
Right.
not want to take that away from the child. Like it just I
Hmm.
just never understood that
Yeah, I
logic.
never understood that too. That
That's
was
true,
never my
Robin.
thing. When I had my son, me and my husband was not married. Matter of fact, we didn't get married until after we had our second daughter. But when we had our son, I said to him, first of all, when we were in the hospital, I offered him a paternity test. That's just who I am because it's mama's baby, papa's baby. And I always heard that since I was a child. So I said, in case this man has any doubts, I want to clear them up right now, right here, while we're in the hospital, so that he doesn't have to go 18 years thinking that this is his child and it's not. So you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Plus, I already knew it was his kid, but I wanted to make sure he knew that. He knew who I was, and he was like, I don't need that shit. Okay, moving on to the next thing. I don't play that child support shit. I'm expecting you to be a full-time father the way I am a full-time mother. And as long as you
Hmm.
as long as you keep a job with a paycheck coming in, I don't care where the hell you work, long as you keep a paycheck coming in, you will never hear child support come out of my mouth. I'm just not going through all that. I don't like the fact of having his name in the court system, because what if this happened and the recession happened like it did when the pandemic hit and he lost his job? They're gonna lock his ass up and put a bench warrant out for his arrest because he can't pay his child support.
That is
What's,
true.
what's the point? I always think about what could be, and I always play off of that. So I feel like she's doing this for the money. I always got
Oh, of
very
course.
greedy vibes from her. Whenever I would see her on different TV shows, I never really liked her. It was something about her that just gave me very I'm here for the money type of vibes. I think she had to learn to love Neo. I don't think she was ever truly like in love with him prior to the marriage. I think that she learned to love him as the years went on, and she really fell in love with that money that he was getting, because behind the scenes, he may not be dropping albums anymore, but this man is producing out of his ass, and he's making hella money. You know what I'm saying, with everything that he's doing.
Hmm.
The TV shows that he's on, and I really felt like that's why she stayed to get to that 7 year or more mark. Now, mind you, if she's asking for spousal support, she was his spouse, indeed. So she should probably get spousal support to a certain extent, though. I feel
I
like
think
she
it should be temporary.
and I feel like that too. I feel like she should only get it
Yeah.
for a certain amount of time. The fact that they give these spouses a chance to get this for the life, for the as long as they live until they get remarried. That's the only time that it cancels, until they get remarried
Yeah.
or they go to the courts themselves and say, I don't want it anymore. I don't need it anymore. That's
Right.
bullshit to me. Because like this, that means that man is gonna have to go to the court and prove that you're now getting all of this money from whatever it is you're doing, so you don't need this money, and he's gonna have to go through hell and hot water to do that. For what? That's just unfair. Like, men get shitted on all the time when it comes to relationships and children and court systems, and I
That's
really
true.
and I hate it. I really
Yeah.
fucking hate it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Listen.
They make it so easy. You don't really have to. You even down to the child support itself. There's women who get child support when we if we putting it focusing on this perspective. But like there's women who get child support, and someone said I think it's a good idea that they should have a card, like just like when you get food stamps. The card
mm-hmm,
only works for food. When you go to the grocery store, they don't give you
Yep.
just a card with
right,
$1,000+ on there. You can just go and get it. No, I think that they should have something set up to where if you're gonna get child support, that it
mm-hmm,
should only be meant for things for that child, especially
Yep.
right.
depending on the age. If they're babies, Pampers, milk, stuff like that. If they're a
Itemized receipt.
teenager, yeah, receipts, school supplies,
I've
stuff like
always
that.
believed in the
And
itemized receipt thing.
I
Yeah.
just
Mm-hmm,
because it's a lot of them who don't need the money. They're just
for
being
real.
they're just being spiteful, and they take the money, and then that's when you see the ones running around all hair done up, nails done up, but the kids
Right.
aren't being taken care of because they're using the money for themselves.
Hmm.
So it's
Yep.
definitely a lot of people out there who are just spiteful and just trying to go
Mhm.
after whatever they can just to make the other person miserable when they're really hurting the child. And I think it's just unfortunate all around.
Right.
I
It
don't like
is.
And I understand certain things come into play, like security for the children, depending on how big and popular your parents are and things like that. You will need security because people will run up on your child, and things like that. So I totally get stuff like that. I just feel like there should be a tighter system, and what these people use when it comes to that men get to. Yeah, shut up, Mark.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Yes, I do advocate for men when it's supposed to be, when
Hey,
I'm,
Mama
when it's the right
Ashley.
thing, Mark. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some men still ain't shit. If that make you feel better, Mark. If that makes you take you back to the old me. Some of y'all still ain't shit, and
Oh
some of y'all
no.
balls still stink. But next, okay. But for the
Oh
men that are
no.
really out here, no, for real, for the men that are really out here that are doing their job, that they are taking care of their children, they are picking them up from school, they are picking them up from daycare, they're doing things with them, then they should get a lot of slack cut for them. They shouldn't have to pay child support, and if they do, they should be able to get itemized receipts for what it is that the child support is being used for.
Yep.
It's only right. These
Yep.
men are busting their ass. I have a friend right now on Facebook getting his paycheck torn apart because of his baby mama's getting child support. And when I say this man takes care of his kids, like I wish I can go to court and advocate for him. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's just wrong.
It
You know,
is. Like I
these
feel
women though, they don't send the kids to him with any clothes. You know why? Because he has clothes for them at his place. You know why? Because he take them clothes shopping when he gets them. So these women they don't lose anything, but they're getting this money every month for what? Like for what? You know what I'm
Uh,
I
saying?
feel
Like
like child
that's insane.
support is for the man who has trouble taking care of his kid. If you disappear on her when she get pregnant, you need to be on child support. If any time after she has the child you disappear or not providing, you need to be on child support. Child support for me is not for a man that gets their kid every weekend or sometimes
That
3 to 5 days a week and
that
is
part.
buying everything for them while he's with them. And on
Mhm.
top of you having him on child support.
Right.
That's not right at all. A man that's active in the child's life, providing for the child can call their daddy themselves for anything.
Yep.
They do not need to be on child support. And a lot of these women, I've seen women will be have a guy on child support, but the kids live with him.
Is it
At some point, the child went to live with him,
that's
well,
the
and they
part
don't
that
go down there and stop it.
confuses me. I don't understand that.
It's
And then I don't
terrible.
understand why there aren't more women on child support. Let me not say
well,
that.
I don't
the
understand that
Right.
either.
Let me
I
well,
not
agree
hold
with
say
on,
that
that
hold
too
too.
on, hold
loud.
on, hold
Matter of
on,
fact,
hold
let me
on.
get real loud
Wait,
on that shit. Why these bitches ain't
wait.
on child support that don't do nothing for these kids, or these fathers is doing
Because there's
more for
some
these kids,
deadbeat mamas out
and
here
these
too.
deadbeat mamas out here and they ain't doing nothing for their kids, and all they worried about is the next colored weed that they can get when they get their nails
Hmm.
done, their feet done, and when they going out to somebody's concert paint. And it's probably some of them hoes who paid for them pictures with Chris Brown, them $1,000 pictures with Chris Brown.
Yep.
It's probably
With
some of
that
them
child
bald headed
support.
Okay,
Caesars,
wait,
and
ladies,
they
hold
actually need
on.
to be on child support.
Wait. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the time. Uh, this
Yeah.
is a great
Yeah,
part of the topic,
We
but
go on about this because I feel
let
I
me
know,
go.
strongly about this
but
subject.
we
Let's
gotta
move
we
on.
gotta
We're gonna
bring
end it
it
on
back.
that one. Let's end it on. Let's end it on. These hoes need to be on child support like these men too.
Right.
And we're gonna leave Neo and Crystal alone. Let's go over to Mel and see who she got for us.
Okay, so I don't have all the drama that y'all got going on.
Yes, let's
We're
end
gonna
this
talk about
on.
Tay Diggs and Apryl Jones. Now they've been in the spotlight for a minute for their TikToks and all of that. I'm gonna give a little background. Tay Diggs first got I think he started out on How Stella Got Her Groove Back. I think that's where he started. I
He
don't know
started
if
out
he
on.
did anything
He
before
started on
then.
Broadway.
He was on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that. But we all kind of got wind of him when he was on Stella Got Her Groove Back. And Apryl, everybody knows her from Love and Hip Hop, associated with Omarion and, all of that. Um, I will say Tay Diggs has had his share of a little drama. He was married to a Wahite woman for a
Mm-hmm.
while, and everybody gave him flack. I mean, all the black women
Yes.
gave him
Yes.
all kinds of flack for being married to a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I mean, half of us would not date Tay Diggs if he was just a regular dude on the street. So I don't tend to give people flack for that because if I didn't want you and you probably didn't want me, why would I give you flack? But that he had they got married in 2003 and divorced in 2014. And I would say pretty much that whole time people gave him flack for their relationship. And he kind of didn't make it better because they had a child. And he turned around and said that he wants his son to decide what race he's going to claim. Instead of him either saying he's biracial or black, he wants his son to decide which way he wants to go. So if his son just grew up and said he wanted to be white,
I
he gonna
did
be
not
okay
know
with it.
that. Now that's news
Yes.
to me.
Yes. So aside from him getting the flack for marrying a white woman, he turns around and does this. Um, in my opinion, no, don't ignore your white side, but you don't get to choose. You
Right.
really don't get to choose a side. Either you're biracial or you're black.
Right.
That's just and we didn't set it up that way. They set it up that way to where if you got a little speck of black in you, you black.
So they call it the
Now
one
everybody's warming up to
percent.
people saying, yeah, now everybody's warming up to the idea of calling themselves biracial, but you can't just say you let him decide because you setting this boy up for trouble. So he's getting flack for that. So that's his little that's the drama that I found on him. And then with Apryl,
Ooh, Jesus help
Lord.
us.
Apryl Jones, she had a lot of drama on Love and Hip Hop when it came to Fizz and Omarion. So everybody knows that her and Omarion have a child or children together, and then Fizz was in a group with Omarion, and her and Fizz were best friends for a while or whatever, and decided to go further with a relationship. Of course, she caught a lot of flack, as we could expect her catching a lot of flack for that. You with the bandmate. Um, and I have a couple of links, but can't get into them now with the interest of time. If you want to go down in the description box, click on the links and check out the things that I'm talking about, you can go ahead. But I noticed in my research, I saw that Apryl has a lot of like mommy and daddy issues. She was abandoned by her mom. Her mom lied to her about her dad. So I can kind of understand a lot of the drama behind her and Omarion and Fizz and her getting into it with all these women on Love and Hip Hop. But gonna fast forward to her and Tay Diggs. So they really haven't been dating that long. It's been about, what is this, the 9th month? Probably about 10 months. They started dating back in, well, they met back in December. This is the story that I saw. They met back in December. His son started him on TikTok, and him scrolling through TikTok, he saw Apryl's TikTok, DM'd her, told her one of her TikToks was funny,
Really?
and the rest is history. Yeah, I thought it was something deeper than that happened,
Right.
but it wasn't. He just slid into the DMs,
Okay, Tay.
was like, "Hey,
Ain't bad.
I think you funny." Then they start working together on their TikToks, and then here's the relationship that we see. The TikToks that they have out. They're funny. I mean, it's cute. It's really cute and interesting. I'm rooting for them because I hope that we can see a relationship in the public eye that is not so high up like the Jay-Z's and Beyonce's. They're a little bit lower, and they're doing regular things. I like to see celebrity couples doing regular things and
Ashanti
getting
don't want
along
your ass.
regularly. Say that again.
I'm sorry, I was reading the comment. Ashanti don't want your ass. Next. Go ahead, Mel.
She don't. But there was a little. I think that this was a little drama. I kind of picked this up. So on Fox 5, Tay did a interview, and so they were asking him about Apryl Jones and everything, and was telling them, oh, we see you on TikTok with Apryl Jones. Is this a relationship? The public eye wants to know all of this and that, and he's just like, yeah, I bet everybody wants to know, and he just left it at that. And then fast forward a couple of months later, he's professing his love on Instagram. This just happened like a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a week ago. he's professing his love on there. And I think he did it because, one, he left it real vague. And I think he left it vague because they haven't had a conversation of whether they were going public or not. And I could
Right.
understand that. Like, you can't just put her out there like that and you haven't had a conversation. You wouldn't want her putting you out there like that and y'all haven't had a conversation of going
Right.
public. So, in my little research, I was on YouTube looking at some things, and I don't know if everybody's familiar with Unwind with Tasha K. So I'm watching her podcast, and she's just like going in on Tay Diggs and saying that, oh, she for the streets and he ain't gonna claim her because she been with everybody. She's been linked to, I think she's been linked to the game. She's been linked to a couple of different people, of course,
So
Omarion and
yeah.
Phoenix. So Tasha K just kind of went in and said, she's for the streets. He ain't gonna claim her. Ain't nobody gonna claim her. Ain't nobody ever claimed her. So, she went in. She went all the way in. If y'all want to see that, I don't know if I put that down in the description box, but yeah, you can search for that if you want to see that on Unwind with
Tasha
Tasha K.
K, that Tasha K needs to relax herself a little bit because
She really
she's the
does.
one who Cardi B won the defam that whatever defaming something type
Defame.
of
Yep, she sued her for defamation.
lawsuit against her, and she needs to
Hmm.
just chill out. Like Tasha K be talking about a lot of stuff that she really should not be. Cause she got $1 million lawsuit out there. She can't pay that money. And if mess around and Tay Diggs gonna put another lawsuit on her, she gonna be asked out. Like her
If I was
kids is
her,
gonna be
I
paying
lay
that
low.
lawsuit back.
I would definitely lay
She
low if I
better
was
lay
her.
low.
Right. But she went in, and I mean, I think the whole podcast was about them. The hour and some change was about them. And I'm like, you already in hot water. Chill out. Like, get on out their business. Just get on it and get off of it, because you can't afford to with your YouTube checks to be getting sued. You're gonna have to start at square one if you have to use your YouTube checks to pay for all of what you be saying. But yeah, I thought it was real interesting that he came out and said, "Oh, I'm so grateful for this woman that loves me and I love her," and all of that. It was kind of random after the Fox interview that he said that. And for me, I just kind of felt like she was like, you can't be on TV talking about me like I'm just the next chick. Like
Yeah,
I'm just some regular chick out here.
is that the interview where he did his professional laugh?
Yeah, the professional laugh that he did.
Yeah.
When I saw it, I'm like, oh, you gonna be in some trouble, sir. You
Yeah,
gonna
he
be in some
probably knew it
trouble.
too. That's probably why he laughed like that, because he
Oh
probably
yeah. Oh
he
yeah.
was caught off guard probably, and like you said, they probably didn't have a conversation about it. And, when you're in the light like that, in the spotlight, you do got to be careful, because I mean, because that was a lot of hot water Apryl was in too at one point, and
yeah, a whole lot.
That was a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really get into it emotionally until she started like when I was kind of getting irritated, and until she started dating Lil Fizz, or what they call him, Fizzy Pop or whatever. And I was like, and I said, no, I said, that's not cool. And just the way she was going about it. And I do feel like for someone to do that, she was coming from a very hurt place. And and to me, how I feel about her and Tay Diggs, if this is a healthy relationship and it's actually bringing the best out of her, and she's kind of grown from the whole, from that whole place that she was in when she was trying to date.
Definitely.
I think then that's good for her, like, honestly, because I do feel like she needed some sort of positive focus, because after that, I'm not gonna lie, I looked at her a little different, because I was like, ugh. And it was just, I just didn't agree with the way she was going about it, and she was trying to act like she didn't care. Oh, I don't care what nobody got to say about it. Da, 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 da. And it's just like, yeah. If this is bringing her happiness, genuine happiness, then
I kind of feel like the whole "I don't care" thing was a saving face.
With the front, yeah, me too.
You gotta save face. If you dating your ex's boy, like, I mean, they ain't boys, but his bandmate, you gotta kind of try to save face. Like, I don't care. Love is love. whatever. But
Right.
you
It's
should have
just, you
known
know
going in
what?
the door it was gonna be some mess.
I'm gonna just put my thoughts and feelings out there because I'm gonna always just keep it 100.
Do
So
you?
I followed that story about the breakup initially between April and Omarion. So
Mhm.
apparently what happened was Omarion packed his stuff while she was like going somewhere. He packed
Yep.
up all his stuff and just moved out on her. But
Mhm.
when you pull back the layers of it, Omarion did say in the interview once that it was just too much drama. It was always something with her. It was always an argument with her. So that just goes back to her past drama that she just brought into the relationship with them, and they just happened to probably have good sex and had these kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was
Right.
still a lot of brokenness beneath the layer with her. And then I'm just like, okay, so she trying to heal from that or trying to work through that, and then she finds solace in Fizz. First of all, you find solace in a man who on a national TV show is always homeless. He always packing this shit up and moving in with some female.
Always.
Baby, this was a rebound. This was a rebound. This was somebody she just needed to get, you know what I'm saying? She wanted to find a way to hurt Omarion for the way he hurt
Mhm.
her and left her abandoned, which was probably something that triggered past issues of being abandoned by parents and things like that. And then he
Yep.
comes along and he does the exact same thing that I'm pretty sure she shared with him at one point, because we share with the man that we love. I was hurt this way by my mother. I was done this way by my father. And we expect the man that we're with to not what? Put us through the same thing. And what did he
Right.
do? He abandoned her, but he had to save his peace. He had to save his mental
Exactly.
stability and peace. So it's like a
Mhm.
double-edged sword with why each one of them did what they did.
Mm-hmm.
All
But
of it
like,
comes from trauma,
right, but to pick
past
up with
traumas.
Fizz,
That
okay.
was just dumb.
That was just like tasteless and tactful, but
And
whatever.
it didn't
But
get her. It didn't get anywhere. Like that's a really
No.
backfire. It didn't do
No.
anything.
and I'm
Didn't
not
do nothing at all.
understanding how Omarion confuses me, because how were you pissed off at Fizz, but you're not pissed off at Boog, and Boog slept with your mom. So
Is
Jay Boog
that
apparently slept with his mom,
is
slept with
that was that
Omarion's
confirmed?
mom.
I did not hear
'Cause
that.
I've
Yeah,
heard
this
that,
was
but I didn't
like,
know if it was
I
confirmed or
don't
not.
know if I don't know if it's actually true, like
That's
100% true.
nasty.
But Jay Book has never denied it in all of the interviews, or whenever somebody brought up, he never talks about it. He never denies it. So to
Mm.
me, that's like an admission of some type of truth. Something must have happened somewhere, because you're not trying to prove yourself to say no, that never happened. So Omarion, how were you ever okay with Book but not okay with Fizz?
I
Like,
feel like
Right.
that might have been something that could have, if it is true, it could have gotten taken care of behind the scenes. Could have, I don't,
I don't know.
yeah, we don't know, because he could have heard about it, because if he heard, because I'm sure about the first time we heard about it, for some reason I have a feeling that could have been the first time Omarion heard about it, but I feel like he probably
Mm-hmm.
heard about it before it came out to us and to
Right.
the public. So that could have been something that was dealt with prior, and because Omarion
Mhm.
never addressed it, he never said anything about it. Like you said, Jay Boog didn't say anything about it. It
Right.
just, to me, it just came off like something that was silently addressed
And
before
that
we
and that
even
could and
heard.
that could be, yeah, that could be true. There's some, yeah, that sounds like it could be something too. But when it comes to April and Tay, you know what? I'm honestly here for it.
I
Yeah.
am too.
I'm here for the relationship. I've noticed so much growth in her over
Mm-hmm.
the past year, because as she was also connected to Dr. Dre.
Yeah,
I think
She
I
she
said
did hear
that
that.
was.
Dr. Dre,
She was
honey,
connected to
God,
Dre.
honey,
I didn't know how true it was.
like y'all must be like, these women must be a glutton for punishment, because a man that used to literally beat the soul out of women 20 years ago ain't no man that I want now. It is no type of rehabilitation a man could do, because that anger streak to me is going to always still be there. If you can pick up
Always.
once and beat a woman to the point where she's like bloody and almost unconscious or even unconscious, there's no way that you can tell me that you are a rehabilitated man. You'll never do it again. No, bruh. I just haven't pushed the button to get you there, but apparently it's still down there. It's somewhere deep down
Oh
inside.
yeah.
But
Unless you
like,
you taking extra steps to get therapy and get on some medication if need be, and I mean years of therapy
for
before
real,
you try to get into another relationship. No, it's gonna be there.
I'm like, has she pulled this? Has she really been dating Dr. Dre and then pulled this and slept with one of Dr. Dre's friends? He would unalive her ass expeditiously. Like,
Quickly.
I feel
We
like
would
he would
never
do
hear
that.
her again.
So, but for Tay Diggs, it's such a maturity there that I think that is helping her to grow as a person, as a
Mm-hmm.
mom. There hasn't been a whole lot of anything about her parenting when it comes to Omarion. Neither one of them have talked about it. She's already said that we're co-parenting pretty well at this point. I think Tay has brought in that calmness to the storm that was needed. He's calmed her down where she probably thinks about a lot of situations before she reacts now.
True.
We already know Omarion is on a whole nother wavelength. That man is just up in the clouds with how he is just trying to move on and heal himself. So he's not even about the arguing that we see. So
Mm-hmm.
this could be a great thing for all of them, to be honest with you, you know?
So that brings me to a question that I wanted to ask both of you. So with Tay Diggs and his drama and his feeling like black women don't love him no more, do you feel like, and with Apryl going through the drama of her past relationships, do you feel like this is Tay trying to get back in good with black women, or have they both just got lucky and found love in the weirdest way?
It's luck. To me, it's luck.
You think it's luck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
What about you,
you
Amber?
can't be trying to get back into if he was dating Lupita, then you trying to get back into good graces with black women. He's
Yeah.
dating a mixed woman. She's still mixed. Regardless of how we want to cut the board of it is and say because
Mm-hmm.
she has her grandfather's black, but her grandmother is Hawaiian. Her grandmother then had a child, and then that child married a Hawaiian, and then they had April. She has a small percentage of black, and she's still considered to be black. Yes, she is,
Yeah.
but she's not a full. First of all, none of us are really full, authentically African American people. We all have something somewhere down the line
Mm-hmm.
for us. But I'm talking about her mama and daddy are not black.
Yeah.
Therefore, she's
She's
not.
Taiwanese, Chinese, and
For
Native
real.
American,
I mean,
African
I think one of her
American.
kids is named Mai or something like that, like Mai or something like that. One of them is named
Mm-hmm.
someone, I don't know. She gave a Crystal or Glass or something. I don't know what she named the kids, but the kids are named after her backgrounds, heritage, and things like that. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
he's not trying to get back in our good graces. He just happened to find a very attractive woman who also found him attractive, who just happens to be part black, and he's enjoying the poom poom. He's enjoying the poom poom and making
Mhm.
TikTok. That's all. Just luck.
Yeah,
What you think, Amber?
I can agree with that. I don't think that it's trying to, for one, if it was, I don't care who he dated. That's not gonna fix anything. You know what I'm saying? Like if that was his agenda, then yeah, that's okay. Like that's not you're not dating all black women because you choose to decide to date. You can still have this. It's almost like someone saying and trying to say that they're not racist because they date a black person. That's just doesn't
Right,
really
right.
solve anything. So
So that
um
was yeah, that was one of the things that Tasha K was talking about. Like he's trying to get back in good with black women because he's with this mixed girl now, and then she did bring up, well, she ain't all the way black, so don't think that you gonna got us back because of that. I've never lost love for Tay Diggs. I don't care who you with. Like love
I
is
mean,
love to me.
I think he's a great actor. I've always liked his work. I liked him when he was on Broadway. I did
Mm-hmm.
in a sense feel bad for him because like you said, he caught a lot of slack when he was on Broadway. And his wife at the time, I think she's also Broadway something. She does something on Broadway. That's how they met, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken. And they literally booed her off of stage one time, like threw things on stage and booed her off when they knew that that was his wife because he had married a white woman. And so yeah, so they've been, they both went through some traumatic things in their relationship. But I always thought he was a pretty good, actor. I never
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that I heard that made everybody kind of look, it wasn't, at least for me, and I don't know about anybody else, but it wasn't the fact that he was with a white woman. I think he was making some comments about
Mhm.
black women
Mhm.
as he was with this white woman. And I think that's what made everybody kind of look at him like, oh, okay, because he apparently made a comment, and I don't know if this is true or if this was confirmed that came out of his mouth, but he was on the set of filming Best Man Holiday,
Mhm.
and they asked him, how does it feel to be back around, your old castmates and stuff like that. And he apparently made a comment saying that being around all these loud black women makes me miss being at home with my wife, something like that. And
And I kind of think that was a joke when he said it.
when he said it,
I don't
but
know.
people
because he
were,
was under fire with black women. So he threw something out there just to be trying to be funny, but it wasn't funny at
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think that's what made people like, and don't get me wrong, there's probably some people who were mad just at the fact that he was dating a
Mhm.
white woman regardless. But I think it really made it worse when he
Right.
made that comment, because and that just changes the whole, like, because anybody who was saying, oh, love who you love is love, when he made that comment, it's like, oh, okay, so you dating her because you don't like black women? That's not a good reason to
Right.
date a woman. Like, so
Yeah.
yeah, he left a bad
Yeah.
taste in some people's mouths, but
I think that would be that's my only issue with interracial relationships is when one person or both parties are making derogatory comments or statements pertaining to the race that they're not with. That
Mhm.
bothers me. If you fall in love with a white man, love that man, let that man love you. Y'all have the best relationship. You do not need to go and talk about how black men ain't shit. Nobody asked you that. You don't have to do that.
Right.
Same thing when it comes on the flip side to black men being with white women. That's your business. If that's who your heart led you to, that's your business. But then you don't have to turn around and say, "Oh, I'm so glad I picked this white woman and spend the rest of my life with because these black bitches be off the hook." First of all, sir, I will beat you the fuck up. But that's not here nor there. But
Right.
but like it's no need to do that. You don't need to down talk somebody, another
Yeah.
race because you've chosen not to be with that race. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not, because like if you're black man talking about black women, you're talking about your mother. You're talking about your aunt, that favorite aunt that you love. Talking about that favorite cousin that comes over to all the cookouts you can't
Mhm.
wait to see. That's who you're down talking. Don't do that. You don't need to do that in order to profess the love that you have for this just happens to be white woman or this Asian woman or whatever. There's no need to do stuff like that. And that's the reason why 90% of black women have an issue when black men start dating white women is because of how they proceed to talk about us after they're with that white woman.
Yeah.
Like it's no need for that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah. And on the flip side, let people love who they gonna love. If you
period.
see a black man with a white woman, okay, whatever. It ain't
Whatever.
your bit. You ain't gotta live with them. You ain't. It don't matter as long as
Nothing.
she treating that black man right. If she treating that black man wrong, then say something. But if she
Yep.
ain't treating him wrong, it ain't your business.
That's
Like
not none of that.
I dated a white man for a very short time. We were in a relationship, and it ain't just black women that give flack. I got a lot of flack from middle aged to older black men. And they would say some of the nastiest things to me when they would see us in public. If he would walk off, like we pull up to the gas station, he go in the gas station. I could bet any amount of money that a black man would see us and walk up to me to the car, walk up to the car and say something to me. Oh, you shouldn't be with that man. Your daddy would be so mad at you. Your grandparents would be so disappointed in you. All these good black men out here that you couldn't find one of them. I'm like,
that's
I
usually how
just like him right now. Like I
Right,
like
right.
him. Like
that's usually how it goes. Like, it's always a difference when it's a white woman and a black man and a white man and a black woman. It's like one, it just is always a different reaction. Like, and I
mhm.
found that, because with black women, we tend to get more aggravated when it's a white woman with a black man, and then for the black man is usually the opposite,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, oh, I heard one guy say, it was a black dude, oh, y'all go taking our women. Like, but
Taken. First of all, ain't nobody took me. Ain't put
yeah,
me on
like
no auction
For
block.
real.
it's just it's and everybody got their own racial traumas and stuff like that they probably dealt with. Not
Mhm.
saying that makes it okay, but and I think Tay Diggs, when he made those comments, that touched on probably a lot of people who dealt with
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. So
Yep.
I could see how him dating Apryl could make someone nitpick a little bit, like, oh, okay, don't say that you dating a black woman. She not that, like you said, regardless, she's black and she got pulled over by the cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Right.
so, but all in all, again, long as he loves her for her, and
Right.
and
Right.
not saying stuff like, oh, thank God you're mixed, or oh man, like, just long as he's just not even mentioning race at all, like
Right.
he just
Right.
loves her for her, and then I'm all for it as well. Long anything that's making them both grow,
Right.
cool. Like it's genuine, and
Exactly.
And I
yeah,
just honestly, I just appreciate, honestly, I'm gonna just do, I appreciate interracial couples who are still themselves when they're in this relationship. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Because we get up, we see it all the time. We talk about it, how a lot of white women get with black men and then they try to, I guess, quote unquote, do the things that black women do. They try to talk kind of the way that we talk in some sense and things like that. And
Wearing the nails, wearing the hair.
and things like that. And so I appreciate a white woman who still goes to curl up and dye hair salon and get her bumper curls. And you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that because she's still authentically who she is. She's not trying
Hmm.
to take on or attach herself to the black persona just because she's married to a black man. Same thing when a white
Right.
man is with the black woman. He's not all of a sudden wearing jerseys and fitted hats and Timberland boots. You know what I'm saying? He's still out here with his Sperry Dockers, and things like that on and enjoying his life just as who he would be regardless of who he's with. I appreciate that simplicity of interracial relationship when each person is still able and is still happily okay with being who they are. Now, if you prior to meeting that black man was wearing nails and hair, you was already doing, that's different. That's different because that's just probably who you
Exactly.
are. That's just probably what background you come from. That's a different
Right.
story. It's the ones who change everything about themselves because they're quote unquote in this relationship. They feel like they have to become the race that they're with. No,
And the
still
truth
be
is, if he
yourself.
wanted a black woman in that moment, he would have been
Right,
with a black woman in that moment. He
right.
wanted you. He
He wanted
liked
to.
something in you. So don't come bringing something new because he ain't
Right,
going to want you
right,
no more.
right. Yeah, just be who you are. That's all.
so
Yeah.
just real quick. So we are 20 minutes in or
We
over.
are.
Yes, we
So
are.
So we're
yes,
going to wrap this up. Let's wrap this up with the latest. Let's give it about 5-10 minutes of the latest drama that has happened with Mr. Ray J and Miss Kim Kardashian and Miss Kris Jenner.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if everybody's been following this story. Brief background, Kim and Ray had a sex tape. Well, it
Mm-hmm.
turns out there was 3 sex tapes. And apparently, allegedly, according to Ray, Kris watched all 3 of them. She
Mm-hmm.
picked the one that made Kim look the best,
Yep.
and then they put it out there. Now she's denying it, and now Ray J is on a warpath with Kris Jenner. He's trying to put it out there. He wants to put all 3 of them out there to show, like, he's not lying. I don't know if there's a lawsuit coming behind this. I just saw this last night. So I don't know if there's a lawsuit coming behind this or not, but he's like, look, you done messed with the wrong black man,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote. And he's going after Kris Jenner for, I guess, lying. I don't know what you're going after her for because at some point you had to agree for this to be out. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, y'all did it. And it was back in what, '07? Like, how long
Yeah,
was
that was
this?
a long time ago.
Back in '07, they had this sex tape. And then, I think it's a little weird that your mama watched your sex tape and picked the one that looked best. Not
Right.
only watched one, she made you redo. She made them redo it.
Mm-hmm.
Then she watched it,
Mm-hmm.
and then she put it out there.
Yep.
So yeah, this woman. I mean, I believe Ray. I believe him.
There's not a lot of times that I believe Ray because
Me
Ray has
either.
just, but when I say I absolutely love Ray, like I've loved him from his TV show, all the way up to Love and Hip Hop when he was on there. But I'm gonna just say I believe him. The Kardashians have proven themselves to be very conniving, slithering type of people because there's nothing that Kris Jenner won't do for the dollar sign.
Nope.
And she's already shown that she's exploited her children. She's even used her ex-husband turning into a woman as a way to get out there and also get paid for
Mhm.
interviews. So to me, she's
Mhm.
just a very slimy individual. If she saw talent in me, I would definitely sign with her because I mean I could do something because I need the money. But I'm just saying,
I would
like,
definitely call Kris first.
please call. I will call Mama Chris in a heartbeat. But I'm just saying, when it comes to your children, it has to be a line. She refused to
Mhm.
stop filming when all of that stuff was going on with Chloe and Tristan, she was like, "No, we're not going to stop.
Yep.
We're not ending this season. This is going to be a good season." Like this was all of her idea. Like they're just now ending their 20th season because it's nothing else there. There's nothing else to talk about. But the fact that you would be okay with watching a sex tape that includes your child, having her redo it, and then put it, and then they blame Ray J. They said that Ray J was the one
Yep.
who put that sex tape out there, and that's the reason why he's like, "No, we're going to go to court because you're out here got people thinking that it's me," and it keeps resurfacing. And I think that's what he's tired of. I think that's what he got tired of, and he started putting out there because it's like all these years later, 14 years later, 15 years later, I'm married now or going through a divorce now. I have kids, and you want to keep talking about this.
Right.
So I don't
Right.
blame him for wanting to take legal action. I can't say that he would win, but I don't blame him for trying.
Yeah. Because I mean, at some point you agreed to put it out there. No, she's not right by um saying that he put it out there, but I kind of feel like she painted this picture of we gonna get rich off this, Ray. Let's do it. We gonna get rich off. This is the story. Oh, Ray J releases the sex tape. This is gonna be the story, and then we're all gonna make money from it because everybody's gonna pay attention to all of us. So let's just go with this.
And the
That's
sex
how I
tape
feel
was
about it.
dry, and it was dry.
You know, I've never seen it.
I watched it. It was very dry. I mean, hell, Mimi and what's the name and Buckethead did better in their sex
Oh,
tape
come on,
than
what they call him, Nico Frico or something like
Nico.
that.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did much better. Like
that damn
so,
shower ride.
it was a strong shower ride though.
For y'all who don't know
They both
what
did that
we're
mug
talking
down.
about,
It can't hold me. But it held them though. I ain't mad.
oh my god, that was ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. I just always feel like, and to me, anything that the Kardashians do, I just always feel like it's just to stay relevant, put their name out there. I mean, I just that's just how I feel about. I mean, that's just every time. That's just what it's always been. But yeah, and I would be upset if I was Ray J as well, and so I don't blame him for going about the way that he is, and it's just crazy because this is the first I'm hearing about it resurfacing. Like that was so long ago.
Every couple of years it comes back up.
Yep.
That's crazy. I thought that was something that was just long. I mean, the only time I heard it come back up, I think because someone had, Kanye West made a comment about it or something, and of course the whole "I Hit It First" song that Ray J made in reference to at least people was thinking it was reference to the sex tape, and that was a long time ago as well. So I do actually that does make it kind of ironic though, because Ray J played a part in resurfacing it himself, because that song alone was kind of like, you hit it first, like
Right.
And everybody, of course, all they could do was speculate on what the song was really about, but everybody kind of got the idea, and that was petty of him.
And Ray J is notoriously known for being very petty.
Yeah,
he will be extremely petty. I mean, and so
I didn't even blame him for it. He is very petty, and why would you expect anything less?
Right. Exactly.
He's still petty. He's just all these years, he still do some of the pettiest things, and like, oh my god, like I just can't even help but think about that. The verses he was on, like he was being.
He's a goofball, and I can appreciate him being a goofball because it's entertaining, and he is an entertainer. He can't sing, but he's going to entertain you in other ways. So that's definitely
right.
He cannot sing. I don't care if this reaches Ray J. You cannot sing, Ray J. I'm sorry, but you are a good entertainer. So. But I think that we are good to go on this episode. I think we did great, ladies, and bringing some of this, celebrity tea to light right now. That for people who haven't seen it, as always, any and everything out the podcast. We appreciate you guys for having us on and letting us have our own segment. And I think at this point we're going to say deuces to everybody watching. Appreciate you guys.